Hi there, I'm Marc Pagani, and this is Tasting Tuesdays. Welcome back to Tasting Tuesdays. If you'd like to subscribe, please do so by clicking on this little logo right down here. And if you'd like to get to the actual tasting and tasting notes of the video, go to this point in the video right here. So today we're looking at Peg Leg Porker, 12-year. I had heard about this a little bit here and there, and I was in Greenville, South Carolina in October and met up with my friend Larry and Eudora, who are awesome whiskey fans as well. And we went to a bar there and they had it, and so I figured I'm gonna try it, and I really liked it. I really did. And then a week later, I happened to be in my hometown in New Orleans. I went into a place called the Wine Cellar on Britannia Avenue, and they had it there. And I don't remember if I paid 85 or 90 bucks, but I was really surprised to see it because I hadn't seen it anywhere else. And I was really excited to be able to buy it because I did like it at the bar. So I'm gonna do a more thorough tasting today, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about the bottle. The bottle is presented by Peg Leg Porker, which is a barbecue joint in Nashville, Tennessee. It is Tennessee straight bourbon whiskey. It is 93 proof, and it is aged for 10 years. The guy who owns the barbecue joint and who brings this to us is a guy named Carey Bringle, and we'll tell you a bit more about him in a minute. The juice that's in here is actually distilled at the Dickel distillery, so he sources it from George Dickel. So let's learn a little bit more about this bottle. Peg Leg Porker is a 12-year Tennessee straight bourbon whiskey that retails for $85 to $100. It is 93 proof. Its mash bill is 84% corn, 8% rye, and 8% malted barley. The distiller isn't advertised, but it's common knowledge that it's sourced from George Dickel Distillery, which is also in Tennessee. It's aged in New American charred oak barrels. It is filtered through hickory charcoal, which is kind of unique, and it's not surprising considering that Carey Bringle, the man who creates the whiskey, is also the man behind Peg Leg Porker, which is a Nashville barbecue restaurant. He's been a competitive barbecue cooker, restaurant owner, smoker, designer, and QVC television star. All right, now that you're an expert on Peg Leg Porker 12-year, it's time for some whiskey porn. Okay, so now that you experienced the smooth sexiness of Peg Leg Porker in its full glory, let's actually taste this thing. I've got my New Orleans Bourbon Fest glass right here, of course. If they have it this coming year, please do go. It's a great experience. So let's get to the nose first. Oh, I really like that. So it's a graham cracker crust, not like actual graham crackers because they can get stale and kind of not very odoriferous. That's a big word. But it's more like a graham cracker crust that you have on pie that's got a lot of butter mixed in, which is really nice. It's definitely got it's like caramel candies, like those soft caramel candies that have the gold wrappers on there. It really reminds me of that. And there's also a little bit of dry oak and baking spices in there. Not bacon spices, because that would be kind of appropriate for a porker, but no, it's baking spices. So let's give it a try. Really coats the mouth nicely. I would say it's like a s'mores in a glass almost. It's got all those flavors, like if you made a s'mores with dark fruit and dark chocolate with marshmallow and like fresh graham crackers. It's quite lovely, but it's not too sweet. You'd figure, oh, s'mores are kind of sweet and sugary. It's not like that. It's got the great kind of full flavor of s'mores without all the other crap. Let's taste it again. Yeah, that's really what I get. On the finish, it's got a very long finish. Coats the mouth completely. I feel a little slight burn on both sides of my tongue at the very finish of the finish. But it's velvety smooth. If you're into that kind of velvet coating, like right now I still have graham cracker crust on the roof of my mouth. It's still there. The very long finish, which I love. I love whiskey that has a lot of elements, a lot of complexity, and a lot of different elements to it. I'm usually not so into lower proof stuff like this. This is, again, 96 proof, but they do this one right. 12-year is a great kind of sweet spot for bourbon, in my opinion. This is Tennessee, so it's slightly different than Kentucky bourbon, but I do like that 12 to 15-year range. Anything older than that, I'm usually not a big fan of. It gets too oaky, too sweet sometimes, depending on the whiskey. I did have that Heaven Hill 27, and it was fantastic. But I like this a lot. As you can see, there's not a lot of the bottle left, so I can highly recommend this one if you can find it. It should be anywhere between 85 and 90 bucks, somewhere in there, which is, you know, a lot of money for a bottle of whiskey, but I think it's worth it. And you know, again, a lot of people are going after those allocated bottles from the Buffalo Trace collection, which is great, go for it. But just remember that if you're gonna spend that money, or even more than that money actually, you can spend a little less on this and get a really good whiskey. Solid, very solid whiskey. I think I'm actually gonna go back to the store and see if they have one more bottle, just so I have it. So again, please do subscribe by clicking on this little logo down here, and I will see you next week.